Welcome to the Road to Memorial Cup edition of the CHL Top 10 show presented by Kia. My name is Scott Van Koenig, and this week I talked to players from two teams that earned unlikely first-round sweeps, the Peterborough Petes and the Moose Jaw Warriors. Denton Mateychuk and his Moose Jaw Warriors were favored to win their 4-5 series against the Lethbridge Hurricanes thanks to a 3-1 season series win. But after a 2-1 double overtime Game 1 win, no one would have predicted a series sweep. The Blue Jackets prospect talks to us about their first round series, how they're going to spend their extra time off, what they're doing to prepare for the second round, and who's going to have the best and worst playoff beards. Here's Denton Mateychuk. Really excited to welcome my first guest today. Off of his first round sweep of the Lethbridge Hurricanes, it's Columbus Blue Jackets prospect, and more importantly, Moose Jaw Warriors captain Denton Mateychuk. Denton, how you doing today?
I'm very good, very good.
Good. We got lots to talk about, especially with that great first round series for you guys. So let's start with the biggest game of that series, maybe the most important game of that series, that Game 1 double overtime win. You guys were favored in that series. You took the regular season series 3-1, and that game really set the tone for you guys for the rest of the next three games. But maybe from your perspective, what was that game like for you?
Yeah, that was definitely the biggest game of the series, and they played really well. They came at us hard to start the game, and they didn't let off. And then we got a kind of a little bit of a break, got a power play in the second overtime, and we put one home, and it was a really good game. Both teams played really hard. Went right down to I think 17 seconds left or something like that in the second overtime. So yeah, it was really good to get a good start and win Game 1.
You were on the ice for that OT winner. The clock's ticking down. Were you aware of how much time was left, and kind of take me through that goal from your perspective?
Well, we got a power play with I think a minute left in the period, and so you kind of got like a bit of a grasp on how much time you got left, and then
across the Lethbridge line, swings it to Jagger, left circle, shot, save made, bouncing, rebound, they score! With 17 seconds left, Jagger Fergus, your overtime hero! Warriors win in double overtime!
But Jagger Fergus starts that play going hard into the zone.
And they kind of cleared the puck, and we came back for the breakout, and I think it was Korzak brought the puck up, and he gave it to Fergus, and he made a good play to get into the zone. We had a good entry, and then he seamed it to Jagger, and he made a good shot. Kind of went off the guy's blocker, I believe, or maybe his glove, and it's kind of just in front of the net. And Fergus came across and put it upstairs. So that was good to go to the net, and we got rewarded.
Had you guys talked about before that power play, like just before that power play, how much you wanted to finish it before going into a third overtime?
I think that's big, especially knowing that you play the next day, to not have to play that extra period. And I think that was kind of in the back of our minds. We never really said anything, but the ice with 50 or 20 a minute left, I guess, it's not always the best. So just try and keep it simple, and just go back to what works, and don't try and overcomplicate anything. And that's pretty much what we did.
Well, like you said, you were right back at it the next day for Game 2. After a really long game like that, how do you guys prepare? Because you came out flying in Game 2 as well.
I think, just getting in a good cool down after the game, making sure you're taking care of your body throughout the next day, and doing all the things right before the game to make sure you're at your best for that night. And I think a lot of our guys did that, and we were ready to go for Game 2.
You scored a beauty goal in Game 2. Take me through that one.
Unbelievably tight here. So Warriors with the draw. Mateychuk, stick handles between the circles, still with it. Shot. Scores! Oh, Captain, my Captain, Denton Mateychuk with a laser beam that beats Brian Thompson, and the Warriors are back up by 3.
It was kind of it was a one draw, and the kind of puck was in between me and my D partner. So I jumped to the middle, and guy kind of came out right in my lane. So I tried to put a little shoulder fake on him, try and get him to bite, and then he did. So I pulled it to my back, and I got around him, and then pretty much walked right down the slot and made a pretty good shot and went in.
You probably would have liked to have scored more goals this year. How nice was it to get that goal early in the series for you?
Yeah, I think that's a big thing. I struggle with that a little bit through the year. So I think yeah, to get the first of the playoffs out of the way pretty early is always good.
Connor Unger, pretty amazing first round for you guys. Only allowed 6 goals on about 130 shots, I believe. How important is it to have him back there playing the way he is for you guys, knowing that if you guys make a mistake, he's going to bail you out?
Yeah, I think that's huge. He's came back and he's been great. He was great before he got his suspension there. So yeah, we're really happy with how he's playing, and all those guys that came back, they all look great. So yeah, we're really happy to have him back, and yeah, to see him doing that is awesome, and it really helps with us for our confidence and things like that. So it's yeah, it's definitely good.
In game 4, it was a tight game as one would expect. Elimination games are always hard, especially with with team knowing it's their last game of this. It could be their last game of the season. You got the insurance marker with about 5 minutes to go in the third period.
Tried to get it up the boards and held in at the line. Nice move. Warner in. Warner fires. Save made. Rebound. Scores. Denton Mateychuk. And Moose Jaw leads by 2.
Max Warner and Denton Mateychuk. How good have those two been this series?
Did it allow everybody to kind of loosen up a little bit and kind of exhale at that point?
Yeah, I think so. I think that always helps. I think we would have liked to share it a little bit earlier in the game, but those games when it comes down to the wire, it's good for your team to know that there's going to be lots of games like that if you're going to go for a deep playoff run. So we got to be ready for that, and even if we get down or things like that, we have to be able to be resilient and come back from that.
Obviously, for you, the offense is great, but also limiting the chances of their big guys and not allowing them to create offense. How much do you focus on, eliminating time and space from those guys?
Yeah, I think that's a big thing, especially in the playoffs where the games are all really close, and you want to make sure that you're not making mistakes in the defensive zone that end up in the back of your net. So I think it's just goes back to keeping it simple, not trying to complicate things, getting the puck out of your end. And they're a hard forechecking team, so we kind of just took that and used the simplicity of the game with me and my D partner, and just try and get pucks up and then join the rush and make sure you have support when you're pinching down the walls and things like that. So I think we did a really good job of that throughout the series.
When you get to the playoffs, do you have to be a bit of a chameleon, like as a team, to be able to adjust your style of play to counteract the different teams that you're playing, or how they adjust on the fly as well?
Yeah, I think that's a big thing, is to be able to adjust. And when they're coming at you really hard and they're forechecking hard, and they play a different neutral zone than some other teams and different forecheck, you have to realize before you even get in that game to see what's coming up against you. So I think that's a big thing. Going into the game, having a bit of an idea of what's going to be coming at you. You won't know for sure, but I think your pre-scout is pretty important.
Playoffs always get more physical. Do you like it when the physicality ratchets up a bit?
Yeah, that's always the exciting part. When both teams are going at it, and it's pretty much a dogfight, and I think that's great. It keeps everybody in the game, and you want to go out there and change the game every shift.
Now, the depth on your team has been great in that first round series. You guys had 10 different guys that scored goals, so obviously that speaks to how balanced your lineup is. But maybe tell me a little bit about that top line and how dominant they were. Furcus, Yager, and Rysavy.
Yeah, they were great. They had a great series, especially game 2 and 3. They were really good. I think Furcus in game 3 was great. That was probably one of the best games of the series for us. And he just exploded. And that whole line went out there every shift, and they did exactly what they were supposed to. And it shows why they're one of our top lines.
Is it more impressive knowing how much tighter the checking is on them in a series like that?
Yeah, I think so for sure. Like all their D-man and their forwards, they want to get in their face and try and rattle them a little bit, and they just stuck with it. They didn't let anybody get to them mentally or physically. So I think that's a big thing, not to back off and be timid, and they just kept going. So that's it's awesome to see.
All right, so the series is over. You guys have probably the most time off that you've had since Christmas break, while you wait to find out who you're going to play in the second round. So you've got that rest versus rust, and obviously you're always going to take the the rest after a long season and a tough series like that. But how do you maintain your momentum going into that second round series with so much time off?
Yeah. Obviously, this is pretty big break for us. So, we got to, make sure we're staying in it with the game and, putting all of our effort into practices. And, we're never going to get those exact game situations in practice, but, there's lots of things that we can work on from the first series that we think we can clean up for whoever we play in the second round. So we just got to keep with it and stay focused here. I think that's the biggest thing.
Do you guys have any team plans for the next essential week?
Nothing yet, but I'm sure we'll get together and do something. Maybe some bowling, or went to the golf simulators a couple times in town here. So maybe do something like that. I think would be good.
Well, all eyes right now would be on that Blades Pat series. Are you guys keeping an eye on that just to kind of see if it's going to be Winnipeg or Red Deer for you guys?
Yeah, I think we've looked into it a little bit. Yeah, that is a pretty big series. So yeah, I think whoever we play, we're gonna come at it with the same approach. But yeah, it's definitely kind of a big series for us. So yeah, we keep eyes on it a little bit.
You guys you were 1-2-1 against Red Deer this year, but you haven't played them since I think it was January 11th, and you guys are 3-2-1 against Winnipeg. So probably one of the only teams that have a winning record against the ice this year. You lost to the ice in round 2 last year. What kind of lessons did you guys learn playing against them last year that you can use in your second round series this year?
Yeah, I think especially in their home rink, they use their momentum, and pretty much they destroyed us in the first 2 games of those series. I think they were like 6-0 and 6-1 or something like that. They were high scoring games for them, and you just got to go into every game and play a full 60 minutes. I think last year we kind of backed off a little bit in that second round, so I think we just got to be ready for their push. And we did win a game in their rink this year with some. I think for the first time we did, so I think that's a big boost for us. So yeah, I think that's something that can really help us going into the playoffs, knowing that we can win in that rink.
How much better prepared are you guys maybe, or just how different are you guys as a team this year versus last year? Is it just, the more mature, more experience from a lot of the guys, or what would you say it is?
Yeah, I think it's more experience for a lot of guys last year, including myself. It was our first look at the playoffs in the WHL. So I think that's something that really helps you going into this year, knowing that you got a bit of experience. And for those younger guys, they played a great first round. So I think, they're going to bring it again in round 2.
As the captain, what do you say to some of the younger guys on the team with such a big layoff, and as they try to prepare for the next round?
Yeah, pretty much the same as the first round. Keep it simple. And we've been playing lots of games this year, and we all know our jobs and what we're doing on the ice and our systems and all those things. So it's just not overthinking it, and just keeping your work ethic up, and just go out there and play.
All right, if you're picking a playoff pool team and you're going to pick a guy from your team, who's the first guy you take, and then maybe who's a sleeper pick that you would take?
I think for me, I'd go with Jagger Firkus. He's a really good player, and he does a lot of things well and nice. He's killing penalties, and he's also making a lot of plays on 5-on-5 and also the power play. So he's kind of all over the ice. He's a great player, so I think that's a guy who I'd take. And then I think a sleeper pick would probably be my D partner, Max Warner. He's a really good player. He's a really good penalty killer. He's also got a great shot, and he uses his deception pretty well as well. So I think that would be my sleeper pick.
Yeah, Fergus obviously the obvious choice, and Max, I think he had 4 points in the first 4 games, so that's not a bad sleeper pick either there.
Yeah, exactly.
What's kind of been the mood around Moose Jaw? At the start of the playoffs, maybe after you guys swept, are things getting more exciting around there? I know you guys had some watch parties.
Yeah, I think the town's excited for us here, and yeah, we're excited too. So I think it's good when you have the city behind you coming to the games and cheering us on. So yeah, that always helps.
I touched on the Blades and the Pats there. I got to ask you, because you've played against him a bunch, and he's just been lights out. Connor Bedard, what are your thoughts on him and how impressive he's been, and just how he seems to keep elevating his play?
Yeah. Especially looking at that series, he's been great for Regina. He's been all over the ice doing a lot of things, and yeah, he's a great player. And yeah, we get to see that quite a bit here in Moose Jaw. And yeah, it's cool to see him elevating his game for the playoffs here. And yeah, it's awesome.
For you as a defenseman, how do you prepare to defend against a guy like him?
Yeah, you got to just try and take away his time and space. I think when he gets, that extra second, he takes advantage, and he doesn't really look back, and he doesn't let you get in position if you're already out of it. So I think that's a big thing, just taking away his space and making him make a play quick.
Obviously, his name's going to be called really early at the NHL draft. You're playing with a couple of guys in your goalie Connor Unger and Braden Yeager, who will have their names called at some point in the draft as well. How have you guys, the older guys who have been drafted, even if it was last year, how have you guys kind of helped them along this year through that draft process?
Yeah, Yeager's been great for us, and I just tell him, just keep playing your game because he's a great player and he does a lot of things well and nice. He's got a great shot. He's a great defensive minded centerman. So I think yeah, it's just keep it simple and keep playing your game and have fun with it. I think that's the biggest thing, is not to get too stressed out about it and too focused on it. Just keep playing your game, and good things will happen.
I know you're a baseball guy. Have you been able to catch any baseball games now you've had a couple days off?
Yeah, I've been well, I haven't really watched too much, but I've been checking the scores of the Blue Jays games. I've always been a big Blue Jays fan, so yeah, it's good to have that going on right now, and yeah, see them having a decent start to the year.
Awesome. One last one before I let you go. Did you guys do anything team wise before the playoffs, like the hair, or do you guys have like t-shirts that you guys are wearing or anything? I know you've got the helmet and the jacket that you do for your player of the game, but did
Yeah,
you guys do anything else?
we did just pretty much the playoff beards. That's our only thing. We didn't really do anything with our hair, but we got some team shirts and stuff that we'll wear in warm up. But yeah, nothing with the hair or anything like that. But yeah, just the standard playoff beard and playoff shirts.
Who's gonna struggle the most with the playoff beard?
That's a good question. I'm not really too sure. I think probably I think Josh Hoekstra probably struggle the most. He doesn't have the best beard, but yeah, it's all good.
And after you, who's gonna look like a 40-year-old man by the end of the playoffs?
Yeah. I there's probably a couple guys. I think Korzak's got a pretty good beard going. Jagger's got an all right one. Backel, he'll probably look like he's about 35. He's a pretty built human, so yeah, makes him look a bit older.
Awesome. Denton, thank you very much. Good luck in your second round series against whomever it may be, and hopefully a long playoff run.
All right, thank you very much.
The fourth seeded Peterborough Petes lost their season series against the Sudbury Wolves 3-1. And as you'll hear from New York Rangers prospect Brennan Othmann, the Petes weren't picked by many to win their first round series, let alone sweep. Othmann tells us about being built for the playoffs, how much big game experience matters, what it's like playing for the city of Peterborough, keeping tabs on old teammates, and how it doesn't matter who the Petes will face in round two. Here's Brennan Othmann. Joining me now from the first team to advance in the OHL playoffs after their sweep of the Sudbury Wolves, it's New York Rangers prospect from the Peterborough Petes, Brennan Othmann. Brennan, how you doing today?
Good, thank you. Yourself?
Pretty good. Sun's shining. We got playoff hockey on every night. It doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys, your first round series was against the Wolves. They took your season series 3-1. So what was your game plan heading into that one? Because I don't think anybody would have predicted a sweep.
No, to be honest with you, I think, looking back at it before the series started, I think the whole hockey world following the OHL had us losing that series. And I think that's what gave us confidence. That's what gave us a little bit of momentum, is we wanted to prove people wrong. And, we made some deals at the deadline. They were able to pick me up at the start of the year. So, we were going for it. We were all in. And I know the regular season wasn't as planned as, what some people thought it would be. And it wasn't as great as, what we thought it would be as well. But, playoffs is a different season. It's a different animal. And, we came prepared, we came focused, and we wanted to prove everyone wrong. And, we saw a lot of, Sudbury in 6, Sudbury in 7, and we didn't we didn't see many with Peterborough in them, and I think that's what fueled us, and that's what gave us fire. I was fortunate to have a long playoff run last year, and Whitey and Hazy had a won a championship, so we used that experience, and we passed it around the room with guys that played Hamilton in the first round last year. So I think our group just come together. We came together at the right time, and we were able to get the first round out of the way. But that's done. It's over with. So we're on to the next one.
Well, you touched on a lot of stuff there, but maybe let's start with the additions that you guys made, with you being the first one there, and obviously, like you said, a lot of playoff experience, especially last year, and then adding Hayes and White, and how much does they're winning the championship last year, and you going to the conference final in Game 7 last year, how much does that benefit the rest of the room now?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, we have a lot of guys in our team that have won a lot of stuff. Yeah, they've won a lot of stuff in minor hockey, but it's still winning. They know what that winning feeling is like. From Hazy and Whitey, winning the OHL championship last year, that's big for them too. I mean, they're two great players, and I hope Whitey with getting a contract. I really hope Hazy gets one. I think he deserves it. I mean, he's had 2 great years now, and he's having a good playoff so far here. And picking him up and picking Whitey up and bringing their ability to win games and to steal games for us, and their ability to score and shut down top players and all that stuff is great. And then you pick up Becker as well at the deadline, and Becker and I were fortunate to win the World Juniors together, so we have that winning feeling as well. Yeah, we haven't won anything in the OHL, but we know what that winning feeling is like. We know that winning is the best feeling in the world, and every time you win, you win with your brothers, and it's something that you remember for the rest of your life. And you want to win with everyone, you want to do everything with everybody, and that's what we want to do here. And we have a great team. I think we have one of the oldest teams in the league, so we have a great group, and we're ready to do more.
For the guys on the team that haven't won before, how do you convey those feelings to them, and how I guess, for lack of a better term, how good it is?
Yeah, you just kind of tell them what that feeling's like. It's you work so hard for however many months you're in the season, and you want to win, and that's what you build for. I mean, not many guys. I mean, you see in the NHL, guys play on teams for almost 20 years, and sometimes they don't win, sometimes they do, and then they stick with the same team, they stick with the process. In the OHL, you only get 4, maybe 5 years, right? And guys go on after 4 years. Some guys move on after 5 years, obviously, and you don't get that opportunity to play with the same team for years after that. So you only have a short period of time to win a championship. And, we just say that, winning's the best feeling in the world. You grew up with these guys. Some guys have played with these guys on the team here since they were 16 years old. With our core, our captain, Sean, and JR and Tucker, they've been together here since day one, since all 3 of them got here, right? And we want to win for guys like that. They've been here, they've battled, they've grinded, and we want to win for guys like that. And that's kind of our model. They go into this in the playoffs is, we want to win, and we want to win for ourselves and for the city, but we also want to win for guys. We want guys playing longer. We want guys getting contracts, and we want a guy like Sean and Tucker and JR, those guys that have grown up together that may not play together ever again, that have seen each other grow for 4 or 5 years now. We want those guys to win together, and that's what we want in Peterborough here. And I think we can do it, and I think we're just going to keep proving people wrong, because I think that no one's gonna take us again, in my opinion.
Well, some players and teams just seem like they're built for the playoffs. It's the playoffs are a hard nose. It's a little bit greasier, and I immediately think of guys like yourself, Hayes, Stillman, among others on the Petes. Is that kind of the identity of your team?
Yeah, I think so. I think I mentioned it before. I think regular season's one season, then you have playoffs as another season. And some teams are just built for the playoffs. Some teams are built for the regular season, and we feel like we're built for the playoffs. And like I said, we didn't have the regular season like everybody wanted. Everyone thought that we were gonna win the conference and the division. But at the end of the day, we're still in the top 8. We're still in the dance. We're still playing. So I think it didn't matter who we played in the first round. We just were happy to be there, and we wanted to prove people wrong. And having, like you said, Stiller, Hazy, and myself, that are, I would say, guys that put up points, but we're also guys that can grind and play the physical side of things. And we're gritty players, but at the same time, you want to be able to put numbers up, and you want to play the defensive game, and you want to play safe. And that's what comes when you're played 4 years in this league, and some guys are signed to the NHL. You know what it takes, and they've been around that experience, and that's what our group brings, and I think that's why we've succeeded so well in the first round.
Well, going back to that first round, you guys had to come from behind in the first 3 games. Now, I know it wasn't a lot, but still, you had to come from behind in the first 3 games. So what does that maybe say about the group that you're able to do that, and then kind of what do you have to do in the second round to get off to some better starts so you're not always chasing?
Yeah, I think it's a positive. Obviously we want to come out harder and we want to come out better, but scoring the first goal in the playoffs is obviously huge, especially at home and even on the road. But I think us being down by one and two goals, I think in any game, and we're able to come back and we're able to stick with our group, and that's what I mean when I say when we're sticking together, is that we don't give up on each other. We're together. We're all buying in on the bench. We're all talking on the bench, and that's the key to winning. It's being a brotherhood, and that's what we slowly start to build here in Peterborough. I know that, like I said, regular season is regular season, but playoffs is playoffs, and that's when you care about each other more. That's when you start to love each other more, and you see guys blocking shots. You see guys getting the puck out, taking a hit to make a play, and guys scoring timely goals. I mean, that's huge. And yeah, we like to score first, but at the same time, we kind of thrive on that adversity of being down, because we know that we're built for that. We know that we have that brotherhood, that we're never going to give up on each other. And we have great goalie in that as well, that if he lets in one, he may not let in another. So we're confident in our group and in our players.
Well, like you mentioned, your goalie Michael Simpson had a great first round. You're not going to win in the playoffs without good goaltending, but so how much easier does he make it on you guys, knowing he's back there and he's going to make up for any mistakes that you guys might have?
Yeah, huge. I mean, we had a solid goalie last year and Flint, but I think Simmer's right up there as well with Cavi. I mean, he's our backbone. I mean, goalies steal games. They can take games away. They can take game 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But Simmer's been great for us. I mean, you saw how many goalie of the weeks he has, and I think he deserves a contract as well, and a camp invite, at least a camp invite. I mean, he's a great goalie. He's even a better person. He's a leader for us in the room, and having a guy back there that you trust and that we all love is super important. And that he can go down there, and if we give up a chance, we have full confidence that he's going to save it. He's a great goalie, and he's solid. He's our rock back there. So kudos to him for having a good round. So hopefully he keeps going.
Well, from the end of your last round to the start of the next round, it'll be about a week that you guys have off. And for some of the guys, it's the most since Christmas. For other guys like yourself and Beck, it's going to be the most time you've had off all year. So how do you guys make sure that you keep your momentum without getting too rusty? Obviously, you want the rest. Everybody wants the rest, but how do you walk that fine line of not getting rusty?
I think you pay attention to details. It's attention to detail on and off the ice. I think that we have the weekend here, and we're all going to hang out and we're all going to bond together more. I think that's the key. That's honestly, in my opinion, that's the key in the playoffs. Yeah, you can go on the ice and you can put up 8, 9 goals, but when you're down by a couple of goals, when you're bought in and you're with the guy next to you and you've been hanging out with the guy for months and I've been hanging out with the guy for hours, you want to win for that guy. You want to play for that guy, and you love that guy. And, like I said, it's like I keep saying it, but playoffs is a different animal. I mean, teams are built for playoffs, and I think that's what we are. We're built for playoffs. We have coaching staff that's built for playoffs. I mean, players are built for playoffs, and the city's been great for us. So we're looking forward to it, but at the same time, like I said, we got to be dialed in practice. We got to attention to details huge, and we like an off day every now and then, but at the same time, you got to stay dialed and pay attention to detail for sure.
Well, what types of things are you guys going to do as a team together to keep building that camaraderie? Because like you said, you've had a bunch of additions this year, so there are guys coming from all over the place, even if there is some familiarity, but to keep building that friendship and trust in one another.
Yeah, I think Sean usually gets the guys to his house, and we usually sit there and we watch hockey, play video games with each other, or we go to a restaurant and watch hockey in the afternoon, or basketball. I know March Madness is on, so we went to a couple restaurants and we all hung out together, and we sit there for a few hours and just watch some basketball, baseball, hockey, and then we go home, and then then we wake up the next day, and then we're together all day again. And so that's the best part of being here. I think it's playing with guys I've played with in the past, and that's what I'm really happy with in Peterborough. I know I played with Simpson and Tucker and Stillman, just to name a couple, and Lockhart as well. So I get to play with those guys, but hanging out with those guys every day and building that better relationship and kind of building that confidence that with the guy next to you that they're going to go out there and have a big shift. Doesn't matter if it's scoring or whatever it is. It could be a chip in. It could be a dive in to get the puck out of your own end. It could be a block shot. Little things like that go such a long way in the playoffs, not just for the team, but for the guy next to you. And it's huge, and that's what our team brings. So just hanging out with each other and just bonding is the best part.
Yeah, sometimes you see in the playoffs a guy making a big defensive, even if it's a poke check, and that's going to get the guys fired up even more than scoring a goal, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know. It was last game, I think it was. We were obviously in Sudbury for game 4, and it was me, Tucker, and Lockie on the ice, and Lockie blocked his shot, and then he poked it out of the zone with 3 minutes left. I mean, if he doesn't block that and he doesn't chip that out, that could be in the back of our net. So little things I mean, that's veteran. I mean, we always give Lockie the gears. He hasn't played many playoff games, but I think this is his first 4. But he's already embracing it, and game 4, he's down like that. He wants to win, and he's thrived to win. He's a good player. He deserves a contract as well. I think all these guys deserve a contract. I mean, we have a hell of a team where our compete level is great, and Lockie did a great job last game. That's what stood out for me.
Well, you're not going to find out till Monday or Tuesday who you guys are going to play in the next round. So, what do you guys do to prepare? Do you leave it with the coaches for now until you guys know? Like, there's the only team that you can't face, I believe, is Mississauga. So everybody else is still up in the air. So what do you guys do over the weekend? Do you just kind of watch some games or leave it with the coaches?
Yeah, like last night, for example, Lockie had a couple guys over at his house, and we watched all the games last night. And that's what I mean. Like, we just go over, we hang out at guys' house, we watch hockey, and we sit there and we just chat and see what's on, and we will sit there at 10 o'clock, and then we go home and go to sleep, and then wake up the next day, and we're here all day now, right? We've been here since 10 o'clock, and it's 2 o'clock now. So I mean, we spend most of the day together, and then tonight we'll go to someone's house and we'll watch more hockey, right? And I know we're going out to a restaurant now and gonna hang out and probably go to Lockie or Sean's house and watch some hockey, or come back to my house with Tucker. But it's great. I mean, that's what it's all about. And I've asked a lot of guys that have been retired, even my dad, and I asked him what's the one thing that he misses, and he says the room and the boys. I mean, that's the key. It's being a family. It's being together, and it's, being together as a unit. And at the same time, we'll leave all the strategies and stuff like that to the coaches, but we'll just sit back, we'll watch, and we'll follow along. And it's been fun. It's been a joy to play, and it's been a joy to play for Peterborough, and I'm looking forward to keep going.
Well, I'm going to sidetrack a little bit because you said you were watching games last night. So what do you think of your former goalie and what he pulled off last night in Barrie?
Lardis sends it around the boards. Thornton collects it. Anson Thornton looking at the empty net. It's going down the ice, and that is a goaltender goal! Anson Thornton! That was incredible! Is there anything this goaltender can't do?
Wow. Look at Anson
Let
Thornton.
him celebrate this one. That's incredible.
Anson Thornton decided, I'm going to put the exclamation mark on this win, and that's just fantastic. Hey, you see your captain do it? Hey, captain, here's how I can do it as well. And Anson Thornton.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. I know we were watching that game, and we saw Clarkie score the empty net goal, and then they rimmed it in and they pulled him again, and he got out of the net, and I said, oh no, and then he shot for it, and I stood up at Lockie's house, and me and a few other guys were jumping, and I said, but this is nuts. I mean, they're playing well right now. They're a good team. Clarkie's obviously changed them around a little bit, but Anson's a great goalie, and so that's good for him. I'm proud he was able to get that. So I know I got to shoot him a text.
What do you since we were there, what do you think of Brant's performance since he got sent back from the juniors? 61 points in 31 games. He's got 14 points and was it 4 or 5 games now? So it just seems like he's playing on a different level.
Yeah, it's impressive. I mean, I think the league is obviously too easy for him right now. I mean, it's no shot at the OHL or anything like that. It's just he's just built different, right? I mean, he's built to be an NHL player. You can tell by the way he moves out there and the way he skates. And I mean, that guy, he's special for sure. I mean, he's played in the NHL. He knows what it takes to play in the NHL. So he's taking that experience. He's sharing it to the guys in Barrie, and he's obviously playing like an NHL right now. So good for Clark. I know him, and I know if he was in the league for a full year, he'd definitely be breaking a lot of records if you put that up there. So good for Clark. I'm proud of him. You want to see all your buddies do well, and he's obviously doing really well right now. So good for him.
So, like I said, lots of options for you guys still in the second round. Based on our conversations already, I'm going to assume that you don't care who it is, even regardless of how the regular season series went, because you guys didn't fare very well against North Bay and Ottawa, but we are in the postseason, so it's been a full reset. So safe to say, no preference, or it doesn't matter to you guys?
No, I think it doesn't really matter. I think that, playoffs and anything can happen. And North Bay's built for the playoffs as well. We feel like, Ottawa is as well. I mean, Ottawa obviously finished with a great record, and North Bay right up there as well, right? And North Bay's got the depth. I think they're an older team as well, so they got a good goalie and good forwards and good D. So they're a solid team. And Ottawa's got, leadership from Morrison and Mateer and Beck. So they've got some good players on their team. So you can't knock anybody out. Anyone has a shot at this. And either way, if we play North Bay, Barrie, Ottawa, I think it doesn't matter. I think we're happy to be in the second round. We're happy to keep playing, and we want to make it a challenge for the next round, and we want to prove people wrong again.
Well, if you guys are going to have success in the second round, your line's going to need to keep producing like it did in the first round. So how do you and your line mates, create some more time and space for yourselves, knowing that you're going to be targeted to be shut down all the time?
Yeah, I think Hazy and Tuck and I just, we kind of just go with the flow. I think we've been aligned now for a few weeks, and we're guys that want the puck, but we're also guys that like to push the puck. And obviously Tucker having 90 points this year's had a big year, and Hazy's had a big year every year in his OHL career, especially last year in the playoffs. And those two they're easy to play with. I mean, you give them the puck, you get open, you try to get open as best you can, especially in the playoffs. It's hard when you got guys on you, but Hazy's obviously, he's got a goal game right now in the playoffs. I mean, he's hard to shut down. He's very hard to shut down. And then if you try to shut him down, you got Tucker to deal with. So it's a hard two guys to handle. And those two have done a good job in the first 4 games that we've played. And those guys are gonna be big for our team going into the future, and everyone's gonna be big for us. It doesn't matter, if you're on the first line or fourth line, you're gonna be able to play a big role, and you're a big guy on this team. So we're happy with those two. We're happy with everyone else as well.
Right. And if you guys get shut down, you guys are a deep team, and you got the Becks and the Lockharts and go on and on, Avons, and who, all put up big points this year. So nothing to worry about there. I saw a cool picture from Sudbury where you guys had a bunch of pictures that a kindergarten class had done for you guys. How cool was that for you to have that in there, a little kind of piece of the city back with you?
Yeah, that was really cool. I didn't really notice until we were walking out, and that's really cool. Bringing stuff back, from Peterborough to Sudbury. I mean, that's how much this city wants us doing. That's how much this city believes in us. I think it's the city that believes in us. We believe in ourselves, and I think that's it. And it's no shot or knock to anybody else, but I just think that's the way I feel, and it's the way we feel. And we kind of love that. We love that feeling, I think, and that's why we thrived in the first round, and we were experienced. We knew what we were doing, and it's awesome to see that kids like that believe in us. And the city has got such a buzz, and it's one of the only real true hockey cities left. I feel like, Peterborough's been in this league for so long now, and it's awesome to be here. I know a lot of guys before I came to this team, and I know some guys that played on this team before. So the city's been great. It's been a treat to play for, and I'm really lucky to be here.
NHL regular season is wrapping up, and obviously, since you've got some time off, have you been keeping tabs on the Rangers and what they're up to, and how often, now that you're in playoffs, do you hear from them?
Yeah, I think I watch them. When you get drafted to a team, you like to watch your team play, and they start to be your favorite team, obviously. And they had a great regular season. They've only got a few games left. They made some big deals, so you see those names that they've picked up, the names that they've had, and it's a scary team. I mean, it's a hard team to make. It's a hard team to play on. It's a hard team to play against, and they're great. I wish them nothing but the best of luck. I know that it's exciting to watch them play. It's exciting to watch them play against any team. I think in the NHL, it's hard. It's obviously a hard league to play in, and not many people can do it. And those players obviously have done for a while, and they're experienced, and they came so close last year. I think they want it this year, and you can tell by the way they play and the way that they're coached, and they came a couple games short or a game short, and this year they won it. And you can tell as soon as I got there in the summertime there that they won it, and they've been grinding since day one. And I'm happy obviously to see them go far, and I want them to go far, and it's been great. But no, I haven't had that much contact with them. Going to the playoffs, I got a call from the player development, Judd Ortmeyer, and he just says good luck and enjoy the playoffs. You'll be able to a few games, and I don't really worry about them coming, and just play, have fun, and do what I do. So it's been good.
All right, we'll get wrapping it up here. So who's going to have the best playoff beard on the team, and who's going to have the worst playoff beard on the team?
Best playoff beard, I think Gavin White. I think Whitey, we saw a couple of pictures and videos last year of Whitey. He had a pretty good one last year. So I'm going to give that one to, I'll give that one to Whitey. And funny enough, I actually think the worst one's going to be Chase Stillman. I think that guy can't grow any hair on his face. So it's pretty funny. He's tried he's tried for the last couple of weeks now and he's got nothing. So he's got a little baby face that we bug him about. That's fun.
Did you guys do any other like, team style things? Do you have any t-shirts that you guys are gonna wear or mottos that you guys are keeping, or everybody go for mullets? I love the mullets are coming back this year. So
yeah, I think all of us kind of did mullets. I know that if you find a picture of Tucker or Sean, they got the mohawk going, which is kind of crazy. So they've got a good look going, and we just got no shaving your face rule, and you gotta keep the beard going, and most of the other guys did mullets. So it's kind of the only thing we got going. We had a little slogan on the back of our shirt, so it's been fun so far.
What's the slogan? Can you share it with me?
It's our goal song. So this is how we do. So it's just a fun little thing that we came up with.
One more. You played against this guy once this year. Thoughts on Michael Misa?
He's a good player. I mean, obviously he led the rookies in scoring. I mean, if you get over, I think he had 55 points, something. He was up there for points for sure. And for the whole CHL, I mean, it's good for him. I know he was hurt for a few games and he was away for U17s, but you can see what he did in Saginaw. I know that they got the Memorial Cup, so he's going to be a player to watch for next year. I know he's not up for the draft for a few years now, but he's a great player. I know that this league's going to be a good league in a few years again. So he's a good player, and good for him.
All right, Brennan. Well, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. So thank you very much. Good luck in the second round, and hopefully a deep run to the Memorial Cup.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's going to be fun. Thank you.